All right, today we're jumping into the very first Star Trek episode that ever hit the airwaves, The Man Trap. It's a fantastic sci-fi mystery that kicks off with what seems like a simple checkup and ends with a question that, honestly, still hangs over the final frontier.
So here's the setup. We're on planet M113. Captain Kirk and Dr. McCoy are there to do a routine medical exam for an archaeologist, Professor Crater, and his wife Nancy. And, plot twist, Nancy just so happens to be an old flame of McCoy's.
And right away, things go sideways. The mission takes a really dark turn when a crewman just drops dead. At first, it looks like he was poisoned by some native plant. But Dr. McCoy is completely stumped. His medical tricorder finds absolutely nothing. No poison, no injury, no cause of death at all. I mean, according to all his advanced instruments, the guy should be perfectly fine. So, the big question is, how do you solve a murder when there's no cause of death?
So as the crew starts digging deeper, they find a clue. But it's something that's medically impossible, and it only makes this whole mystery even stranger.
Okay, get this. The autopsy reveals something that just shouldn't be able to happen. The crewman's body is completely, 100% drained of sodium chloride. We're talking all of its salt. Gone.
For you, for me, for any human, losing all your salt means instant death. It's just not possible according to any known science. So how did it happen? And how was it done without leaving a single mark, except for these weird red rings on the victim's face?
Suddenly, the crew starts putting the pieces together. You've got Crater's weirdly urgent request for salt tablets, and now this bizarre cause of death. It has to be connected. And, unfortunately, the body count starts to rise, making the pattern impossible to ignore.
Well, the investigation puts the pressure on Professor Crater, and he's forced to confess. And the truth about the killer, well, it's not at all what they were expecting.
Crater reveals this isn't just some monster. The creature is the very last surviving member of an intelligent, sentient species that's native to the planet. It's a shapeshifter, and it feeds on salt just to stay alive.
And then he drops the real bombshell. The creature killed his actual wife a year ago. The Nancy that McCoy's been talking to, the one he remembers, she's an imposter, and Crater has been living with this creature ever since.
You can see just how deep this deception goes. The Nancy that McCoy sees is just an illusion. What they're really dealing with is a powerful shapeshifter that can read your mind and project the image of someone you love, someone you trust completely.
But things are about to get a whole lot worse, because the hunt becomes incredibly personal when the creature manages to beam aboard the Enterprise, hiding somewhere among the 400 crew members.
With this thing loose on the ship, suddenly, nobody is safe. It could look like anyone, your trusted colleague, your friend. It is the perfect predator. But you have to remember, it's also just acting out of pure, desperate survival.
So the ship goes on total lockdown. But think about it. How do you possibly hunt an enemy you literally can't see? Every single person you meet could be the killer, and the whole Enterprise just turns into this maze of paranoia.
Okay, so this all builds to this incredible climax on the bridge. The creature, still disguised as Nancy, has Kirk cornered, and Dr. McCoy is staring at an absolutely agonizing dilemma. Spock sees Kirk's life literally draining away, and he's pleading with McCoy to fire his phaser. But McCoy, he's paralyzed. He just can't bring himself to harm the woman he once loved. Even as the creature starts to reveal its true, monstrous form, his heart is completely overriding his duty as a Starfleet officer.
And that's when Spock cuts through all the emotion with one cold, logical question. It forces McCoy to actually see what's in front of him, not what he remembers.
And that's what does it. In this one heartbreaking moment of clarity, McCoy makes his choice. He chooses his friend, his captain, and he fires, vaporizing the creature. Kirk is safe, but the silence that follows is just heavy.
So the threat is over, right? But this isn't some triumphant victory. It's tragic, and it leaves the crew to really think about what they've just done.
And Kirk's final line? Wow. It brings everything full circle, echoing what Crater said earlier. In that moment, they realized they didn't just kill a monster, they made an entire intelligent species extinct.
Think about that number, 1. That's how many individuals were left in an entire species when the Enterprise showed up. And now, that number is 0. That's the real tragedy of this whole thing. And that's the question Star Trek just leaves hanging in the air for us. It's a question about survival, about empathy, and about the incredibly difficult, often heartbreaking choices we have to make out there, in the final frontier.